Um, so last time I stopped yesterday, I was just about to fight Ultima Weapon. And the only thing one should really care about here is who gets all of this free XP and AP. The Interactive 7. No, but somebody mentioned it before. Maybe it was you who told me about Interactive 7 before. Um, Interactive 7 is some kind of like chat game where your chat can oh, it was you. So it is that interactive FF7 experience where you can have your chat affect your FF7 gameplay, right? Have you played this in someone else's stream, I wonder? I see. So how exactly does it work, I wonder? Like, logistically? Um, what kind of interface does one even need to have the Twitch chat effects? The gameplay? Like, is there only some kind of software that you just download, like some kind of patch, and then you you can do it? I see. Menu lime. I don't know what that is. That's a lot of zeros. I mean, what exactly can happen immediately in the game? Like, only if you're in a battle, or... Interesting. Well, I assumed it was some kind of elemental attack, and Sid was immune to it. Hey Desert Eagle, I am still good, how are you? Unfortunately, the difficulty of this battle has not really been changed at all. Okay. Interesting. Also, last time I did some Chocobo, not Chocobo, Gold Saucer stuff. You know, because in the Gold Saucer there's quite a few minigames that you can win various prizes from, and because all of those are randomized as well, I might actually get something good from there. And one of the things I should probably do is win some Chocobo races, but in order to do that, I need a non-garbage gold Chocobo, which I currently don't have. This gold Chocobo I got from exchanging the Desert Rose, and I got the Desert Rose, I think, out of just some kind of random chest. I didn't beat Ruby Weapon yet. I mean, I can feed it with the greens, but that will not be enough, probably. The gold Chocobo you get from exchanging the Desert Rose is just always... it has the worst stats for racing, and your best bet is just to breed this with a yellow Chocobo to get a decent gold Chocobo. How would a Chocobo taste? Probably like some kind of chicken, I would assume. Oh my god, this is spooky enemies. So I'm just trying to catch this thing. Did you know you can also use Chocobo Greens on yourself? They work like just ordinary potions. So now I caught this thing. I must admit I'm not quite sure how this even works. What is the chance of getting a gold Chocobo if you just made any random yellow and gold Chocobo? Do I even need like a special nut? Um, I don't remember any of this. Like, is it even possible? Like, don't I even need like a Xeonut or something? I'm not even sure if this is gonna work out at all. Oh. Yeah, and don't I also need to make sure that the sexes match? I assume this will be a lot of save and reset abuse. Yeah, I mean that's what I did. I didn't beat Ruby Weapon yet, but out of a chest I got the item that you normally get from beating Ruby Weapon, the Desert Rose, and I exchanged this for this gold Chocobo. Now the issue is that this gold Chocobo has terrible racing stats, so if you do want to get to the gold saucer, and if you want to win the prizes there, doing so with this gold Chocobo will not exactly work, at least not easily. So you have to first make this Chocobo mate with another Chocobo to get a newborn called Chocobo that will have better racing stats. Okay, this will not work. I mean, there's so many variables in this. First of all, I need to make sure that this Chocobo is male. You know, if you feed a Chocobo a Quokka Green, you actually move the RNG up like one position. So if I do this moving part again, I will have a different outcome in theory at least. I mean, I guess the other option would be just getting some more Chocobos. You can also just spend time on this screen. This screen also moves the RNG forwards. If you stay in this screen, nothing happens, which is why this even works. I mean, how hard can it be to get a male Chocobo out of this? I'm really not so sure. I mean, we can take a ride in this wonderful landscape and climb up to the mountaintop. Did you know you can even do this? I mean, you can walk around in all this beauty. There's really no point in it, it just adds to the immersion, I guess. If you can actually move throughout all of the screen. You know, I'm sure you might not have even known this. Maybe the issue is that I already looked at it earlier, and That's when the sex was already generated. I'm not sure. But maybe I have to catch a new one. Because this is already garbage. This doesn't look any less spooky. Hello, Ludwig, how are you? You haven't eaten in like 30 hours? Is there a reason for that? Or do you just like to not eat? Well, I could also just summarize what happens in yesterday's stream, I guess. I mean... Hey, fake man. I'm good. How are you? Wow, why is this so weak? Maybe I shouldn't use commit again. Oh my god, and now this fucking thing even escapes. Terrible. Well, I'm glad you can take some enjoyment out of my misery at least, Medric. Have I eaten Piedmontese? I haven't even looked up Piedmontese. Maybe I should Google it. Just right now. Is it gonna conjure up any spooky pictures though? And apparently they have extremely high magic defense. I wasn't aware of that. But this is doing nothing. Have you eaten Piedmontese once again, Medric? Is it something you eat every day? I'm not sure if it's looking good. The pictures I'm seeing as I Google this thing do not look appealing to me, I must tell you. Also, one more change I made since yesterday. You know, formerly, the minimum number of enemies to battle was 5, so I would only have encounters, except for some boss battles and other exceptions, with a minimum of 5 enemies per battle. But I actually increased it to the maximum, so now I always have 6 enemies in the battle, not just 5, because it wasn't enough. I needed one more. Salade Piedmontese. So I hope that any of these chocobos now will be male. Then I hope that breeding them with my gold chocobo and some random nuts will give me a gold chocobo, even though I'm not sure if that's even possible. I don't even know when I last did any of this casually, like breeding chocobos, because it's usually just a mess. How can this be female again? I mean, you're not gonna tell me that I only have female chocobos. I caught 3 ones, and wow. Dude, are they really gonna be all female? Like, is something happening to the gene pool? Never mind. Do you like to eat other salads, except for this mystical Salad Piemontese, Medric? I think Hydro can do just about anything, I suppose. I'm not sure if it's for the better though. So now I can try and just see what I get when I breed these. With one of the various strange nuts I have. So, the nuts that you normally use, I don't even have. I think I actually do normally need to use a Zeo nut. But considering I do not have one, I don't even know if I have any chance of getting a gold Chocobo. I mean, it's really interesting that they put so much effort into this breeding minigame, into the game mechanics of it, that they have 8 different nuts, but I think only the carob and the Zeo nuts even have any kind of use with regards to creating non-yellow Chocobos. Oh my god, this is actually gold. I am really surprised that this seems to work. Yeah, this is definitely gold. Wow. It's not even difficult, it seems. Well, provided you start with a gold Chocobo, I guess. So this Chocobo I got actually has good stats now, because you made it out of 2 Chocobos. It's newborn, and this breeding and having a newborn Chocobo process gives the newborn Chocobo good stats. The Chocobo you get from Ruby Weapon, or from Desert Rose rather, just has basically default stats, and they are always garbage. Unfortunately though, I don't have enough circle screens yet. I mean, I could buy some, or I could just continue to duplicate some, which seems like the sensible choice. An unknown exception has occurred. Well, I'm really glad I just saved. Maybe Jeffrey is not allowed to be small, and that is the unknown exception. This is also a fairly good way to make money, by the way. Just use W item materia, duplicate circle screens, and then sell them all. If you don't just happen to have a mastered all materia, you can also just sell circle screens. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even fought Hojo yet as a boss in the story, but that doesn't prevent me from seeing him in random encounters. So I just hope that this is good enough. To win some Chocobo racing prizes. I also read up on the other minigames, and you know, yesterday I was doing the Snowboard minigame in the Gold Saucer, and apparently there's 3 courses, A, B and C. If you want to get a prize, you have to score at least 89 in each one. And I was getting scores between 80 and 86, so it seems like I have to still do some improvements to win stuff there. I mean, this is not exactly great, but might do for now. Wait, actually I think I'm wrong. This is still garbage. I need way more greens. I really don't think I'm supposed to be this far behind. I mean, this far not ahead. I mean, this is only C rank, and I can't say I'm doing very good in this. This is just terrible. Hey Ratchets. Well, no offense, but I think some people have um like here some people have actually had what you might call corona parties, and they've had been fined or something like that because you're not allowed to have parties like these, let alone parties anymore. So I mean, in some places you can get in actual legal trouble for hosting such things. Well, there are some people who think that it's just everything is overrated, and you know, what's more fun than getting each other sick on a party, people might say. I should probably make a list of things I've gotten, because they are different items. I think I haven't had a high potion yet. Wow, a high potion is just a high potion. That is underwhelming. And I'm already outclassed by everyone in terms of high speed. except for this one. I mean, something like that, I suppose. You know, I think you're still allowed to do so if it's just between you and another person. You can still have like 2 people parties, even though I'm not sure if you can still call these parties. I mean, I don't really know what the definition of party is, but you can still have get-togethers between just 2 people. But I assume that generally speaking people think of parties as involving at least, I don't know, 3 people maybe? It's kind of the same as with orgies, how they also at least involve at least 3 people or so. Yeah, that's a good observation, Desert Eagle, I think. That might just be the same thing. I mean, isn't an orgy essentially just a party with sex? Like, and therefore the number of people required might just be the same in both cases. I mean, you know, an orgy is just it's just a theme party where the theme is sex. It's just like a theme party you can have for themes such as, you know, like a baby shower. It's also just a theme party where the theme is someone's baby, I guess. Wow. What kind of person names the Chocobo K? I mean, is this normal? Does the game normally name Chocobos K? Just one letter? Is that even a name? What kind of person names the Chocobo just K? It's just weird. I mean, I can apparently still win in the B race. In B rank. I wonder at which point I'll have to go back and feed my Chocobo more silver screens. Earth Mallet, wow, interesting. Young. I mean, Young also is a very questionable name, but at least it's not K. Well, I already have a gold Chocobo. I am doing these races just to win the prizes, because the prizes are also randomized. and I might be getting some good stuff at some point. I mean, I suppose I don't actually need these bites anymore. I could probably just go on and move on with the game. You know, I could go and fight Hojo and stuff right now. But where's the fun in that? I mean, if I were watching somebody do a weird, overly long playthrough of this game, I would only really be interested in watching all the pointless minigames myself. Maybe I should make some kind of speedrun category where you have to do all the gold sources stuff. And only that. Hey, Princena. Oh my god. I think this is where I have to go back and feed my Chocobo more drugs. Because I am not really winning this, am I? I mean, to be fair, Teo is just doing as poorly as I am, but still, doesn't really help me. Or does it? Oh wow. This is terrible. I get nothing. Oh, actually I could make a quick detour to here and do this fun stuff while I'm here. Because I haven't gotten all the stuff from here either. There's also, you also get stuff from the motorbike Midgar Escape minigame. Not the fortune telling, no. The G-bike. The first time you score 10,000 points, you get some kind of item normally. I'm not sure what you normally get, but it's gonna be something else anyway. So 10,000 points would mean I have to kill at least 20 things. And also not have them attack my beautiful turquoise car. Is it really only 10,000 points? Because it doesn't seem that difficult to get 10,000 points. Maybe I'm just, without even knowing it, I'm maybe just already pro at this minigame and I never even noticed. Well, maybe that's the case. mean, is that really it? That doesn't seem very hard. I felt this would be challenging, but maybe it's not. A circlet? Wow, that's not underwhelming. You don't actually win a prize, an item, you only win GP from this thing. This thing is the same. I've already done the submarine minigame last time, so I don't have to do this anymore. The only thing I still have to do is the snowboard minigame, which is a bit more annoying, I think. And if you bring Tifa or Sid, sometimes you will actually play as them, not as Cloud. So on every course, I have to get at least 89 points to get a prize. I don't know if that's hard or not, but I didn't get any of that yet last time. Have you gotten the prizes on this, Fat Man? Are you speaking with experience? I mean, when I played this casually, I think I never got any of this either, because I don't normally like these kind of minigames. How do you even avoid them? This is terrible. I mean, it's almost as if they're trying to run into you. Maybe that's actually what's happening here. Okay, I mean, that totally was not a deadly accident. I mean, my time is better. Oh my god, is this enough now to get something? A pile banger, okay. So I've done this first one. I've gotten the prize from there, just as closely as I could. I got exactly 89 points, and the cutoff for a prize is exactly 89 points. So I can move on to the next course. This is looking like a great start. So I even read that there is 3 colors of balloons. There's the red ones, which give you 1 balloon point, the blue ones, which give you 2 balloon points, and the green one, which gives you 1 balloon point. And they add up to 30 points or something, maybe 40. And then there's a judgment of your time and also of how shitty you crash into everything. So these 3 categories determine your score. Well, that's not good enough. I need at least 89 points, and I only got 86. I also don't really know if it's worth it, because I have no idea what item I will get from this. So, I mean, maybe you could argue that in the quest of self-improvement, it's worth it, but I'm not so sure about that. How do you even get this wet balloon there? Do you have to dodge it? Because apparently if you jump over it, you cannot reach it anymore. Oh my god. Oh no, I missed the green balloon. That's 5 points I'll never get. I mean, why do they even have these giants? What even are they? Mocks? In the middle of the roads? That's like a public safety hazard. So this definitely looks like a non-improvement, indeed. I mean, this is only the second course. Apparently, the third one is the one for experts. I don't even know what to think of this. I mean, are these even real cactuses? Or real cacti? What kind of cactus just falls down when you crash into it? It's probably just plastic. Oh my god. Now where do you have to jump to get this? Apparently not there. I think this is looking like a really interesting learning curve so far. I feel like my first time was the best so far, and afterwards I have not reached this first height. I mean, it would be a good idea to even just start with that first blue balloon, but oh well. It seems like my score is really debilitated by my shitty balloon score. I mean, they're giving me 30 and 30 out of time, on time, and apparently my technique doesn't suck so much either, but balloons are not good. I didn't want to start time attack. Can I like... Oh well. What the fuck even is this? I don't think you get anything out of time attack, so I'd really rather not do time attack. I also like the change in the pitch of the music as you slow down and speed up. Makes for an even more immersive experience. I mean, every time I crash into something, it almost sounds like the music is getting sadder. Maybe the game is just giving me a reaction to how I'm doing. It's just so sad for the game to witness how poorly I'm doing. So the music is turned down to a quite sad tone. I mean, I didn't even beat the time I had with all the obstacles on the course. It's interesting. Average, wow. So I should avoid this yellow balloon. Hey, the meats. How are you? Oh well. I still need to get more balloons, it seems. Yeah, the green balloon is 5 points, the blue ones I think are 2 or 3, and the wet ones are just 1. So I should try really hard to get the green one. Thanks for the help there, Medric. I wasn't quite sure what I was going for. I mean, I don't know where I have to jump to get the green balloon. I don't know if I'm jumping too early or too late. I probably need to figure that out at some point. Because that seems to be, like, if I had gotten a green balloon, I could already have moved on. Wow. This is actually good enough. I felt this was worse, but whatever. Poison. I mean, it seems like the game is trying to tell me something. I get this prize and it just says poison. That's... you know... that's totally not some kind of metaphor. So now I can move on to the course C, which has already this kind of difficult opening track with these lined up balloons, of which I have missed about half. And there's lots of curves. Oh my god, this is just terrible. And there's icicles that hang from the ceiling that apparently are only waiting to drop so that you crash into them. How sneaky. Dudes. Like, what the fuck? Well, okay. No balloon for me, it seems. There used to be a mountain. I mean, if I could get points for hitting stuff, that would be also really nice. Quite amazing how well I can dodge the balloons, but not so much the other things. You know, it's funny how my technique and time wasn't even that shitty, according to the game at least. I didn't really think it was good, but game still gave me quite a few points. It seems you need more speed to get up there to get the blue balloon. I mean, how is even a child who plays this game supposed to get any of these things? I wonder. You know, I'm not trying to say I'm very good at this, but just imagine if I were a child, I would be I'd be even so much worse at this. Maybe it's not a children's game. Well, I don't know. I mean, when I was a child, I played this. It seemed like a child's game to me. Maybe not child's play though. Do I snowboard? I mean, doesn't my glorious performance here already show you that I snowboard? Do you think skills like these just come from not snowboarding? Hey, the Dwayne zone. Sure, you can ask me those questions. Do you snowboard, Medric? You know, I'm not even sure if it's worth it to even try to get the prize here. Maybe I should just leave. You went skiing once on a dry slope. I never went skiing. And I'm not sure if I want to do it anymore. Because I hear that skiing is just a way to, you know, get like a head injury and end up in coma. And I don't know if if the gain is worth the possible pain when it comes to skiing. Also, I don't even like colds, which I think also is not ideal. Bad. Is that an insult or is that a badge of honor? Well, you can Juffy warp multiple times, and if you Juffy warp to the beginning of the game, you might run into some soft locks, but in theory, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to just, you know, warp to the beginning of the game, then just play the game normally. I think I'm gonna call it quits after this. Just hopeless. I'm not making any improvements. You got your first concussion. I believe I haven't had a concussion yet. Is having a concussion fun? You can warp back to anywhere you want, provided you know, you find Jaffe again. No thanks. I'm done with this. Seems like we'll never find out which mystical prize I didn't get. Wow, a potion is a Buster Sword? Then what is an ether? An ether is an ether, well... okay. An X potion? What is a turbo ether? It's a guard source. And now I don't have any more money. What about this thing? Wonder Catcher. This is just random luck. No, treasures stay opened. You cannot open them more than once. I'm getting a lot of Buster Swords here. That's cool. If only I had a use for them. This is giving me too many Buster Swords. I think I'm out here. Some things have global variables that, you know, once they are set, you cannot so easily unset. So like, kind of like opening chests. Once they are open, they stay open. But I'm not sure in detail what other things work like that. I mean, you'd have to try it yourself and see what works. I think there isn't any kind of detailed documentation of what works outside of speedrunning uses for Jaffe warping. Like casually, you would have to really just try and see what you can do with it. Well, I want to do my Chocobo racing, but the issue is that my Chocobo is garbage. So I first need to get a good Chocobo, which means I need to get more greens, and then feed them to my garbage Chocobo. You know, it's interesting how all of this lingo, all of these terms I learned not long ago, I can almost apply. I mean, I'm just about to juice up my Chocobo with Silk Screen, which clearly are not some kind of steroids. I mean, apparently Chocobo racing is a everything works sports. Like, doping is perfectly legal, if not even strongly encouraged. It seems I've reached the limits of what I can accomplish with my drugs. Does it work on mobile versions? I have no idea. You know, the issue with what you're describing in Juffy warping is that sometimes you warp to a location from which you cannot go to a forest where you would be able to encounter Juffy. You know, that's probably one of the trickier parts, just making sure that you actually warp in such a way that you're always close to a forest for further warping. And I'm also not sure if you are familiar with this other glitch called battle mode warping, which is similar to, but actually a different kind of warping method. So my top speed is still garbage, but at least I maxed my stamina. Battle mode warping. Battle mode warping is warping that uses what is known as a different battle mode, which is like you know, the mode of a battle, and there is one particular one in the calm flashback. That calm flashback, when you have Sephiroth and Young Cloud in your party, has a specific battle mode that makes it so that when you win battles, you do not get the XP screen. And if you die with such a battle mode on, you can warp to where you died. Now the difficult part, or well, the not so trivial part, is dying with the battle mode, because you might say that, and also why am I like, why am I not winning this? This is terrible. Well, as I was saying, also why is there Chocobo named T? What is with these one character Chocobo names? What are these people even smoking? So anyway, I am still holding switch to speed up, yes, but apparently my speed is so garbage that even that doesn't help. As I was saying, the non-trivial part is getting a game over with Sephiroth in your party, and in fact during the calm flashback there is the so-called picture skip, which allows you to prevent Sephiroth from entering your party, and like that you only have Young Clouds. And obviously if you only have Young Cloud and not Sephiroth in your party, then you can indeed die in the calm flashback, and you can use that to warp to the Nibble mountain field screens. If you're familiar with, I think I have to like, this Chocobo is so garbage. I need like a completely new one. I mean, even all this doping didn't work. Like, it's hopeless, I think. Well, have you seen the any percent speed one on PC? The 2-hour one? That uses these various warping techniques, both Juffy warping as well as battle mode warping. You can have a look at that to get an idea of what I'm talking about. And if you combine them, you can indeed even warp to the debug room, so the places you're not normally supposed to enter at all. I wonder if I can even still get the wonderful encounter the normal way. I mean, maybe also the issue isn't so much the Chocobo I bred with to begin with. Maybe the issue is that I'm using shitty nuts. I mean, I think that the nuts you use for when you breed Chocobos with each other, each nut affects the unborn Chocobo's stats. So maybe the issue is also that I don't have any helpful nuts. So I'm going to icicle in to the area and seeing if I can get a wonderful Chocobo there. Yes, you can leave the debug room and just play the game as if you had never been there. You can like leave the debug room and just continue the game normally. Yes, I assume that you cannot duplicate these items. You probably cannot, as far as I know, duplicate the catastrophe or the final heaven limit break manuals. Yes, that should work. So do the Chocobos have a lower encounter rate here? Oh well, never mind. You know, the annoying part is that in the original game, you can already tell by the enemies you encounter what Chocobo you have, whether it's a wonderful or a garbage one. The issue here is that I obviously cannot tell which Chocobo I have because this is randomized and I really don't quite know what this even means. Well, the issue with those items, the battery and the Buster Sword, is that you cannot sell them which means that you know, I'm not sure how familiar with these methods, but there are various extended W item duplication glitches. You know, there's the steal method, or the morph method, the throw method, and if an item cannot be sold, like the Buster Swords, then it also cannot be stolen in battle. So that makes it impossible to duplicate with W item. I think you can. I'm not sure if you can throw the Buster Sword actually. Maybe you can use the throw method. Not sure about that. But obviously the battery cannot be thrown. And it cannot be stolen, so... There's a new glitch. Tell me more about this new glitch that I don't seem to have heard of yet. And also tell me of these obscure ways for 4 out of 9 level 4 limit break manuals. When characters leave the party, you can access a fake character with materia slots to manipulate. I already know of that one, I think. Not necessarily when they leave the party, but also when they just temporarily leave the party. Like, for example, in the Cosmo Canyon section, when you go there for the first time, and Red 13 temporarily leaves the party, then you can indeed, via the exchange menu of materia, you can have like a access to his kind of buggy, glitchy materias inventory, and so far I've only been able to get, and I've only ever seen people be able to get free MP plus materia out of this. I'm not sure if you can make more of it, but if that's what you're talking about, then I've already seen that, like several years ago actually. You know, then again, if you warp to the debug room, you might be able to... I mean, from the debug room you can probably just get 99 of each item anyway, if you care about that. I'm sure that if you include the debug room, you might just get everything anyway. Oh, there was more to it recently. Interesting. I haven't followed that, I would say. Jeffrey stealing your materia to dupe it. That's interesting. But I wonder, would this even be useful for any kind of speedrun scenario? Well, I am actually trying to accomplish a slightly even more humble goal. I mean, I am only trying to get a non-shitty Chocobo. I'm only really trying to accomplish that goal right now, but even that is really difficult, it seems. You know, I realized that the Chocobo I have, which I've been able to raise up to A rank, is just too shitty. His stats are too low that I need to make like an entirely new Chocobo. Even with all the circle screens I fed it, it still wasn't able to win in A class. So I could see if these two Chocobos I caught here, if any of them even are wonderful Chocobos or not. But this temporary character leaving your party, or character temporarily leaving your party exploits has something definitive been found yet about that? Oh my god. I caught garbage 2 times. You know, that's cool to know. Well, see you. So I can just keep on catching Chocobos because the ones I got were just garbage. But at the same time, if only I remembered which enemies I fought, because if I have the same encounters, I should get the same garbage Chocobo. So a wonderful Chocobo would have to be in a different enemy constellation. That's how it works, actually. I had this exact encounter before, right? With like these 2 and these 3. So I assume that this would be just another garbage Chocobo. Oh really? You can transfer material between save files. That's interesting. So you say you could have Juffy steal material from another save file? Why haven't I heard of this before? I wonder. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. So you can you describe the process that you would do? So you have one save file on which what would you have to do on that one save file, and what would you have to do on the other save file? Hey Nix. You might say so, yes. How about you?